And if you've gone to a lot of movies this year, you may have noticed that a lot of Latina actresses are playing key roles. And if you haven't noticed, well, that's the point of this next story. Hispanic groups say that something remarkable has happened to those parts. Race is pretty much a non-factor. CNN's Corinne Winter explains.
Jessica Alba in Valentine's Day.
Checking in for two? Okay. I mean, one and a dog.
Eva Mendes in The Other Guys. And Salma Hayek in Grown Ups.
Your son is so cute.
All Latinas, all movie actresses, all a part of a rising trend of Hispanic actresses taking on roles where their race is not central to the characters they play. Alba played Ashton Kutcher's girlfriend in Valentine's Day. Mendes was Will Ferrell's wife in The Other Guys. And Hayek was Adam Sandler's significant other in Grown Ups. Movie website Fandango.com recently highlighted this trend.
The big news this year in Hollywood is that Hispanic actresses are finally getting the significant roles they've been looking for. And we started off the year really strong with Puerto Rican star Jennifer Lopez in the backup plan. Zoe Saldana, who many are so surprised when they find out that she's half Puerto Rican, half Dominican. She came out in 2 movies this year, The Losers and The Takers. We had America Ferrera in Our Family Wedding, Cuban actress Eva Mendes in The Other Guys, and the list goes on.
And it has nothing to do with their ethnicity, adds Fandango.com columnist Elisa Osegueda.
The fact that they're Hispanic is so secondary to their character, and that's a big trend that we're seeing in Hollywood.
Osegueda said the changes are welcome since it wasn't too long ago that Latinas mainly played maids in countless films.
You had Elizabeth Pena in Down and Out in Beverly Hills, who played, the sassy maid and servant. You've had Lupe Ontiveros, who's been in Hollywood for years, over 20 years, and she's always played, that maid that delivers those crazy punchlines. And we're seeing less of that now. We're seeing, more Hispanic actresses with more meatier roles.
And perhaps the surge in Latino moviegoers fueled this trend. According to the Motion Picture Association of America, although whites make up the majority of the American population, moviegoers and ticket sales, it's actually Hispanics who are more likely to go to the movies. In fact, 37 million Hispanic moviegoers purchased 300 million movie tickets in 2009. That's the highest rate of any ethnic group. And the trend can be seen beyond the big screen with regards to television. Just look at the roles played by America Ferrera in Ugly Betty and Eva Longoria in Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You guys, this is so big.
There is an audience there, and I think studios are finally tapping into that. And they're realizing that Hispanic actresses can pull in an audience.
And at the same time, bridge the gap that so long plagued Latina stars who are starting to earn their place in the spotlight. Corinne Winter, CNN, Hollywood.
Well, as we were preparing for this segment, we were kicking around a lot of the Latino typecast of yesteryear, and it was pretty inescapable. The Hispanic actor always and inevitably sufficing the ethnic character. Desi Arnaz, Cuban band leader Eric Estrada as a Mexican-American biker and known as Ponch and Chips. And then there was Fantasy Island, Ricardo Montalban. Remember that? And then who could forget Julio Fuentes, Puerto Rican junkman with the good fortune of moving next door to Fred Sanford.
Hey, senor! Huh? You and El Gote are losing right away. Do you get it?
I'm sorry, man, but I don't understand.
It's nothing, Julio.
All right, we want to talk more about this with Jorge Cano-Moreno. He's the co-founder and publisher of Urban Latino magazine. You see that clip, Jorge? Boy, times have changed from the mid-70s primetime television. There's no way that would fly today, would it?
No, definitely not. I think that the days of Sanford and Son and playing the maid and playing the nanny are long gone. I think that we have to give acknowledgement to people like Rita Moreno, who pioneered serious actresses in Hollywood with The West Side Story, and she's the first Latina to win both a Grammy, Academy Award, and Tony. So I think that there's been a lot of Latina actresses that have paved the way, and I think it's good time right now for Latinas and Latinos in Hollywood to just play roles that are good, that are meaty, that can give them a balance and be able to talk about their background and things that they've been able to experience and bring that to a role. I think it's a wonderful time in Hollywood.
And we'll talk more about that in just a second. But you actually said you started your magazine in 1994. With regard to breaking stereotypes and lifting up the Latino image, how much progress have you been able to see since you started a very hip magazine, a very positive magazine for Latinos, to now?
Well, one of the great stories I like to tell is Rosario Dawson. We met her when she was just starting off, right after Kids, and we were able to kind of document her career from just an abstract actress in an independent film to one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood. We were also able to, we also always try to find that new face, that new talent that's emerging, like America Ferrera, like Daniel Ramirez. So I think that we try to be the first ones to bring some kind of attention to talent that we see out there. One of the great talents that's just bubbling is an actress called Melanie Diaz, who was in like 4 Sundance films, and is just someone that is just great actress who plays really cool, funky roles. And we're seeing more and more of those opportunities for Latina actresses.
Interesting. You mentioned America Ferrera, and I remember her as the star of Ugly Betty, and I know that she's one of your favorites. And she's now starring in this movie that's getting a lot of hype called The Dry Land. Why do you why do you see her as a good example now of positive images for Latinas?
Because I think that the body type of she's not the pretty, sexy actress like J-Lo, but she's a great actress. I think that film companies like Maya Entertainment putting out a film like Dry Land, where America gets to showcase her real acting versatility, is a great way to show that Latina actresses, first of all, they're actresses. They just happen to be Latina. And the great thing about having that dual bicultural experience is that they can play and pull from so many different places to do and to bring a role to life.
You know what's interesting is I'm looking at Dry Land, and her character is so strong. You know, they could have easily cast, you know, a white woman in this role, but kind of taking a look back at you know, we kind of laughed about Sanford and Son, but if you think of I Love Lucy with Desi Arnaz, I mean, he was a great musician and a band leader. Eric Estrada was a total stud in Chips, right? I mean, there were there were positive roles for Latino men, at least, you know, years back.
Yeah, and one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that Desi Arnaz actually owned the rights to his show. So you see I Love Lucy now, and his great-grandchildren, I believe his grandchildren, are still seeing residual payments from that show. So he was one of the first Latinos to really own the rights to his own show. So that's huge back, you know, in the 40s and 50s when those shows came out. So I think now it's a great time. I think that there's a challenge out to Hollywood that scripts, regardless of who the characters could be, should give Latino actresses a chance to play those roles. And not only that, but see that Latinos come in all colors. So like Zoe Saldana, who's a black Latina, can play black characters, can play Latin characters, can play just great characters. And she happened to be a co-star in the biggest film ever, which was Avatar. So I think that you know, Hollywood should feel comfortable that we buy a lot of tickets, that we have a lot of great talent, and that we actually come out to the movies and support the films.
Jorge Cano-Moreno, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
You bet.